What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the driveway, and welcome today to a pretty chilly, wet, and sort of miserable day here in the Houston area. And I'm currently sitting nice and warm and snug here in my 2017 Elantra Sport. But we're not here to talk about the weather. We're not even here to talk about my car. But what we are here to talk about is a video that I feel is long overdue. Something I should have made months and months ago. And it all revolves around a special trip that I made out to Atlanta, Georgia earlier this year. So if you haven't put two and two together at this point, or at least just read the title of this video, then I'm here to talk about my own experiences when I visited the headquarters of VinWiki. Now, to anybody out there who is either subscribed to me or is perhaps just watching this video at a glance and has absolutely no idea who or what VinWiki is or is all about, then I've included all their company info and contact information in the description box below. But they've had quite the presence here on YouTube recently. They've reached over 500,000 subscribers, and they're most noted for their series called Car Stories, where they have everybody from race car drivers to owners of certain companies like valet companies, and even just regular people like myself come down to their headquarters and just basically share stories. It's almost like if you and your buddies were sitting around in the garage on a Saturday night drinking a beer and just swapping stories about the old times. It's kind of that philosophy. But I had my own opportunity to visit Atlanta and visit VinWiki to tell my very own car story around the end of June of this year. But how this all got started was rather interesting because it wasn't like I reached out and talked to VinWiki beforehand. That was a very nice Corvette going up the road, by the way. But basically, it all started with a very simple Facebook post about a very unfortunate incident that I had around earlier that year, or around earlier in that time period. Basically, what had happened was I had gotten pulled over by the Harris County Sheriff's Department for the second time in 2 years. The funny thing about the whole situation was that it was the same deputy, for the same reason, about the same speed that he caught me going, in a different car. There was just too many things going on at the same time that just made it hilarious. And I said, in this Facebook post, I said, you know, call up VinWiki. I think that'd be a hilarious car story. Now, if you are a VinWiki subscriber, you know that cop stories run in abundance on their channel. So I knew this wasn't going to be headline news or anything like that for them, but I figured I'd take a shot at it. Why not? Well, not much later, my Facebook post on my Facebook fan page for my YouTube channel got a comment, and it was from VinWiki's official social media, and they said, we'd love to hear that story. When would you be able to come out? So on that front, I went over to their website, I hit the contact info button, and got to email none other than VinWiki's founder and the Cannonball record holder himself, Mr. Ed Bolian. So I sent Ed and the team an email. I just told him what, a couple of the stories that I had to share. And I got an email back again from Ed, and he said, yeah, we'd love to hear those stories. What would be a good time for you? Well, unfortunately, due to hectic schedules through my work schedule and everything else, basically, we had to re-coordinate a couple of times. I had one time where we had set a date, and due to the fault of a rather irresponsible and very poor parking lot bus driver that I use when I park my car at the airport, unfortunately I missed my first flight, so we reconvened at second date, and I was able to make it out to Atlanta. So I rented myself a car through Turo and drove about 15 minutes from the drop-off point to the VinWiki warehouse. And when I got to VinWiki, this was rather interesting because I don't believe they're open on Saturdays, but Ed was so awesome in taking time out of his busy schedule to come down to the warehouse and actually let me tell my own car story. Now, there were some stories, I will say, that did not make it on camera. I had some regarding, well, obviously the cop story, or the deputy story, I should say, to be politically correct. I had a story about how I had a 2018 Alfa Romeo 4C that was loaned to me for a week, and I was not able to do a review on it, simply due to the fact that, number one, it was the middle of winter, and we had a freak ice storm here in Houston. But on one of the last days that I had the car, I had a major dental emergency that required immediate oral surgery that made the side of my face look like a balloon. And I did not want to appear like that on camera, so unfortunately, that one went by the wayside as well. And I started talking about press cars and stuff like that. Had an absolute blast, just sitting there with Ed on one side of the desk and me in that famous quilted leather chair with all the cool stuff behind me, and just basically, again, it's like sitting in the garage swapping stories with your buddies. It's awesome. And I just have to say, at the end of it all, while it was great to be able to have that opportunity, what was even greater was just getting to sit down with somebody who's so down to earth, who is a devout Christian just like myself, and somebody who is just as passionate about a lot of the automotive industry as I am. And it's just great when you get to do something that you kind of feel is greater than yourself, or feel that is greater than what you could have imagined. To be able to sit down and kind of do a collaboration, if you will, with a business like VinWiki, it's just something you don't think you'll ever be able to do as maybe an amateur journalist like myself even dreams about. So at the end of it all, I had an excellent time in Atlanta. Atlanta's a city that, number one, I've never been to before, so it was the first time for me traveling through downtown Atlanta, seeing the sights, and getting to just enjoy the drive up to the VinWiki warehouse. But on top of that, just, again, it was an absolute dream come true to be able to be on someone else's video, I guess. And before anybody asks, no, I didn't do this for subscribers. No, I didn't do this so I could make a clickbait video of some kind saying, I got to work with VinWiki and I got to drive a $1 million Lamborghini in the same process. I'm just here to talk about what I feel is one of the most humbling experiences of my life, to be able to go out and do something like this. So in the end, again, my thanks and my heart goes out to Ed and his crew. You guys are well on your way to 1 million subscribers. I have no doubt that that's going to happen very, very soon. And I just, again, extend my thanks to the VinWiki crew. And if anybody out there who's watching this video either dreams of telling their own car story on VinWiki, or perhaps you have told a story on VinWiki, then I appreciate all the effort you guys go to provide me with a wonderful source of entertainment. It's basically like a morning routine for me nowadays. I plug in my phone in my car, and on the 15-minute drive that it takes me to get to work, I listen to VinWiki. I listen to what other people have to talk about. So it's just awesome to be able to do things like that, and to know that I've been a part of their success up to over 500,000 subscribers already. Well, being the fact I'm almost back to work, I guess it's about time to wrap it up, don't you think? Well, I hope everybody has enjoyed my ramblings about what it's like to tell a car story on VinWiki, and kind of my experiences and my trip out to Atlanta. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and also, as I've said before, please do click that subscribe button down below for many more videos like this and more to come in the future. But in the end, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time. Take care, everybody, and stay safe.